Come on, let's talk about it. Come on, let's talk about it. Come on, let's talk about it with Sista JayJay. Come on, let's talk about it. Come on, let's talk about it. Come on, let's talk about it with Sista JayJay.
Talk about it with Sista JayJay, and I'm your hostess, Sista JayJay. Today we have a subject that's very dear, very heartfelt, and so serious. Unfortunately, too many of us have had an experience with this subject in some shape, fashion, or form. And to talk about it, what we're saying is parents that have survived their children. Were the children too young to go? Talking about this subject, I have with me Karen LeBou, entrepreneur and actress. Also have Farie, I do apologize. Actor, poet, advocate, or motivational speaker, and model.
Recording artist, I do it all.
All right, and actor, model, Tier Arton. I do apologize.
Sorry.
So we're gonna start with you, Farie. Tell us your story. You actually are not a parent that lost.
My mother lost her firstborn.
Okay.
My oldest brother, biological blood brother. 2002, May 5th, to street violence. He was murdered. And I also lost another god brother 8 months later.
Oh wow.
To my godmother, first murder of 2003.
Okay.
So, I just want to speak because, it affected the whole family, everybody. It affected me, what I'm saying, it caused me to deal with mental situations where, I had a nervous breakdown in 2006. Thank God I recovered from it. But, the emotional toll and the pain and suffering that we deal with from this violence, is just becoming an epidemic, and, it needs to be addressed and publicized, And I'm willing to speak, advocate, and teach and educate the youth out here. Let's put the guns down. I got a program starting, we're gonna put the guns down, and we see got the best hands, I'm currently working on a proposal with a boxing club.
Okay, so that's what you meant when you said put your hands up. Okay, so you're saying that if you want to release this stress or this
exactly, it don't have to be settled, by Facebook beefs and wars or street beefs or anything like that. It's a way around this, because we all related in one way or the other.
That's right.
You busting and you killing. That's your cousin because he's from across town, but you got an older cousin that's their child, but you don't really know. So we got to educate you. I got a program, called We Need to Know. I just, published my website January 1st this year, and the program is to teach the kids. We're gonna have an annual program, We Need to Know Foundation, where people could donate, charity or whatever, so we can educate them and bring all our children together and let them know that we are related. So my children are related to his children, with his daughter. I'm sorry,
okay, what I'm saying?
And vice versa, everybody related, we all came through the city, the same way.
Right.
And we also have to keep our Indian heritage and spirit alive too, because we related to the Indians too.
Okay.
So I'm willing to do whatever it takes. My company name is Poor Family, www.poorfamily.com. There's no I in the family, that's how we keep it together.
Okay.
So, and it's a lot of other things, whether it's through acting, fashion modeling, or whatever. I'm willing to advocate. We need men of God out here. If you're not a man of God, don't even come to Poor Family, because this kingdom ain't about that. So, I'm still dealing with the losses that we took, years ago.
So let's deal with that. Your brother, how old was he when he was taken?
31.
Okay, so he was 31.
Yeah, he would have.
Did he know the person?
Well, he was living that street life. You know what I'm saying? We all live that street life. but some of us change. You know, he just didn't get an opportunity to make a change.
Okay.
So
was he the intended target, or was just a matter of mistaken identity, or just been in the wrong place at the wrong time?
I am my brother's keeper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we live by the sword, we die by the sword. I'm not saying my brother was an angel himself.
I understand.
You know, so, because, you know, you do dirt, you get dirt, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the matter of the fact is that it needs to be, something need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something, I wish, and I blame myself for a long time. I blame myself for a very long time, you know, saying, like, if I was just closer to him than these other guys out here that he was around, because I didn't know the guy. Okay. You know, but the guy, they, you know, supposed to took his own life a month or so later. Okay. And, you know, I mean.
So that actually was a murder-suicide type of action, and so it really escalated from your brother being in the streets, participating in the street activities. Exactly. And we don't have to get into the logistics of it, but the overall is that he found himself in a situation that cost his life, and as a result, you're dealing, as you stated, that you had a nervous breakdown, and you're still dealing with the loss of, and that's the wonderful thing. However, the fact that he was taken affected you. And I'm quite sure it affected you. It affected your mom.
Oh, wow. She don't talk about it much, but, you know, see, my mother, you know, coming up, messing up in juvenile with her, my mother can't even come in a courtroom or come visit without crying. So, I mean, she, even though she don't talk about it, I know deep down inside, you know, just like my godmother, you know, I call her Mama Wrong. And, you know, deep down inside, you know, I know they hurt. So my actions gotta, you know, try to spare the soul of my brothers, my two brothers, you know. And like say, even though, you know, they not, you know, able to speak about it like I am, and I don't mind speaking about it. So I'm the backbone, I'm the strength now.
So do you feel as though that you're carrying the burden of their death, or do you feel as though you're carrying their legacy?
The legacy. I thought I was carrying the burden.
Okay.
Because when I flipped out, you know what I'm saying, you know.
And that's what made you flip, because you did take on the burden, which was not yours to carry on.
Exactly.
And so with that unwarranted burden, it caused you to experience a situation.
Episode, you know, and, you know, I'm still like, you know, I still make sure I be compliant, trying to make sure I stay mentally sane. You know, because, I mean, I'm not worried about, you know, these guys out here that's running around doing this, because the innocent ones inside. You know, they letting the ones that's doing it stay out here. You know, I'm just scared that it's me that might flip. You see what I'm saying? So, and, you know, it just so happened when I did flip, it was against police officers. You know,
because that was the anger that was built up, and you just finally had to release it. So it sounds like now you're directing that energy to a more positive avenue. You have the Poor Family, you have another organization that you're starting, and all of this is to bring awareness that we are all family, and the essence of family is love. And if you love one another, then you don't choose to hurt each other.
And that's why I call it Poor Family. Family.
So where does the poor come from?
The poor is just like, you know, because don't nobody want to represent the poor. Everybody rich these days.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And the family, I take the out of the family because that's how we keep it together. It ain't about me.
Okay.
It's about everybody. The whole city. From this side of town, all four sides.
Okay.
You know?
So do you think that some of the violence that is happening today within the poor families is because they're actually financially poor? Do you think that?
That too. I mean, if we keep sitting around waiting on people to give us stuff or something, we're in trouble. We gotta, you know, be able to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Build our own economy up, support each other, and I got a lot of programs that I'm doing, and it would be revealed.
So those programs is geared towards building the inner man
building
up,
and strengthening the community, starting here first, but nationwide and worldwide. Okay. You know, so like I say, it's you know, World CTV. That's my channel. That, you know, everything like I'm just publishing, you know, and, you know, like I'm doing a TV series down in Hampton Roads, Virginia, called Precinct 757. TV series, you know, we about to start filming this second season.
And I did happen to see the trail of that.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that that's also a great therapy for people, because you get to be who you really don't want to be, but it allow that energy to just explode. Well, I do thank you. Thank you very much. Karen, your story is a little bit different. Nevertheless, the outcome is still the same, that you lost a child.
Yes, I did. In 2000, August the 11th, 2000, I lost my youngest daughter in a car accident. That accident, that her death, it took a toll on the whole family. You know, what I'm doing and what I'm out here trying to promote with children, letting children know that, you know, because your parents are trying to steer you in the right way, is the reason for all of that. My daughter actually was at my father's house, and one of her friends came to get her to go out. They were going out to do what young people do, to fight another little girl. And they ran into a friend that was driving, 15-year-old boy driving a car, a sports car. It was 2 adults with them. So with that, you know, they were out about 2 o'clock in the morning and start racing another car, and the little boy had no experience with driving, so he lost control. The 3 juveniles perished. The 2 adults, they survived.
Ironically enough.
Yes.
And not saying that we felt as though we wish that the adults would have passed as well, but it's just ironic that the children were perishing and the adults.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, was that a result of from your story with me, the children didn't have seatbelts on, correct?
They didn't have seatbelts on.
But the adults did have seatbelts on.
I believe so. I believe so. But it was really devastating to the family. I had my knee daughter, my knee baby. It took a big toll on her. You know, it was like no one could believe what happened. It was just unreal.
Just for those who don't know what the knee baby is, that is the child that's close to the baby, but not the baby anymore.
Yes,
okay,
that's the knee baby. That's old school. That's knee baby. So it took a real big toll on her, as well as now Tenny was a twin. So of course that was really devastating to her twin brother.
Tell me a little about that. You hear stories with twins that they can feel each other, things of that nature. Now, of course, I know that it was totally magnified with yourself to have her taken that drastically at such a young age, but then to have a twin. How did he deal with that?
Well, I believe he's still dealing with it today. He took that very hard. You know, most of us come in this world alone. He came in here with someone, and now that someone that he came in the world with is gone. So that really took it had a dramatic effect on him. But I thank God that he was able to, you know, go on with his life, even though right now he's still in school. You know, he went on and got his master's, and he's still pursuing his education. So, you know, it didn't destroy him to the point that he couldn't function. But, you know, we would see him, and there would be times that he would just stare, and you talk to him, it was like he was a lost soul. Sometimes you would see him just sitting, and you'd be like, well, what's up? What's wrong with you, Kenny? And you have to remember, hey, part of him is gone. Mm-hmm. So, yes.
So you as a mom, how was that? Because you had to deal with the fact that your daughter was taken, and now you're watching the twin deal with this. So how were you able to cope with that and move forward?
it took me years to be able to move forward. For the first 5 years, I pretended like, oh, well, she was out of town and she'll be back. The 6th year, it was like I couldn't deal with it. I had to go to God in prayer with it. It was very hard. As a mother, it's very hard losing your youngest child. The 7th year, I was like, okay, I have to get on. This 7 years is completion. So I did a little celebration and said that I was going to get on with things, but that didn't happen. That didn't work. And unfortunately, Tenny was killed 4 days before her 18th birthday, and we buried her the day after she would have been 18. And
okay. Well, I mean, you're so tense. I understand that you're tense, and I thank you for sharing your story with me. But, what we're going to do is take a moment and break for a moment, but we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Cameron Spratley, and I'm 14, and my life matters.
Talk to me.
How you doing, people of God? It's good to be able to talk to you once again. I want to invite you to Word, Spirit, and Life Ministries, the Enlargement Center. Listen, you love football, and so do I. I want to introduce you to a man that not only know the game, but played the game. This is none other, Brother Henderson.
How you doing, everyone? It is my pleasure. My name is William Henderson, former fullback for the Green Bay Packers, 12-year veteran. But every Sunday, I get a chance to. I'm in this church, listening to Pastor Battle give us the good word, and I invite you guys to come out and minister with us.
I wanted a show that was about motivation, inspiration, encouragement. A show that was informative to the people, bringing awareness to the people. A show that the people could appreciate. A show that was for the people. That's what Let's Talk About It is all about.
Hey, I'm Kyra Battle, and I'm watching Let's Talk About It with Sista JayJay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It with me, your hostess, Sista JayJay. And we're talking about surviving parents. Were the children too young to go? And I have with me Brother Faree, I hope I said that right, and Karen LeBoon. You were sharing with me about your daughter passing and by way of an accident, car accident, and you were telling us how devastating that was for her twin that she had, and you as the mom dealing with that and trying to keep the twin afloat. So
yes, as I was saying, with her twin Kenny, we try to keep him encouraged. With myself, I decided that I was going to work with children. Back in 2013, we was doing a program where I was going throughout the community in Hopewell, picking up children from different housing complexes and bringing them back to the church. And I decided that I would put my life on hold to try to work with the children, to give back to the community. So I was doing that, and right now I'm still working with the children. I still go and pick up some of the children that we had in the program, and I put a lot of my energy towards the children.
So is that therapy for you? Because I hear you say that you put your life on hold.
Well, when I say I put my life on hold, I run a business, so I put all of that on hold. And yes, it is therapy for me. A lot of the children, they reminded me so much of my daughter. There was a couple of the young girls that was there, and I was like, this is Tenny reincarnated. So yes, it was therapy for me.
So the children bring back the smile, because when you speak about that, I see that you smile. So it brings back that joy to you by helping other children, and the ones that remind you of Tenny, or maybe things that she have done or even look like her, of that nature. And then what I definitely hear you saying is that you just kept moving forward. Do you think about Tenny?
I think about that girl almost. Whew.
And if I could say, when you think about her, are there mixed emotions? What type of emotions do you generate from thinking about her, or when she first passed, did you allow yourself to think about her? Because as Farid was saying, his mom and his godmom would not speak of their sons. And I think that was publicly. And I'm guessing that that's to keep the hurt, suppressed. So with yourself, how did you continue to think about your daughter when she passed? And if not, how long was it before you would allow yourself to think about her? So I guess I have about 3 questions in one.
Well, actually, I did. I thought about her, all the time. I talked about her all the time. Tenny was a type of child, everybody knew her. She was well known, well loved, and most of the people that would come into the shop, they would, Tenny would have said this or Tenny would have done that, and we would laugh because she would do out of the blue, she would do something just to make you laugh, So for me, talking about her, that in my heart, that kept her alive with me. When I thought about her and the some of the outlandish things that she would do, it would just make me laugh, and I would bust out laughing, and I'd be like, I was just thinking about something crazy that crazy Tina would do, like that. So yes. And so your message to the young people that are sneaking out of the house, that are being disobedient, what would be your message if you would look at the camera and tell these young people what is the message? Don't do it, because the enemy is waiting for whatever opportunity to take your life, whether it's by a bullet, by a car accident, or whatever. Do not sneak out of the house. Stay in the house. Safety is in the home.
Awesome. That's a message that needs to be reiterated time after time after time again, because you said that they were sneaking out of the house to fight someone?
Yes. They went out to fight a young lady. You know how they call baby kids, bad girl in the neighborhood. The young lady that got killed with Tenny, her cousin, in fact, was the one that came to get them, and they went out to fight her, and that was the last that anyone saw her alive.
Okay. And again, my heart goes out to both of you all for the loss of your loved ones. And I do want to say once again, and I thank you all for coming on the show and sharing your ordeal with us and the people, to let them know that this is not just about the person that died, but this also affects the loved ones. You have to carry this on for the rest of your life. You have to carry the memory of their life, but also the memory of the ending of their life. And that is what's most devastating. The hurt and the pain of knowing that, in your case, someone deliberately took, your brother's life. And to know that out of foolishness and inexperience and disobedience and hard-headedness, that your life was taken. So I do thank you all for sharing your story with me. And we have Tierra. Welcome, Tierra. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, so share your story with us.
Well, my story is a little bit different than theirs. I had a couple of close friends, die from violence, gang violence. I'm from Florida, so, down there, it's no different from Richmond, but it's a little wilder. So, I had several friends that, involved in some things that, they shouldn't have been involved in, and lost their life real early when I was in high school, ninth grade.
So you're speaking about what, ninth grade, 17, 16, 17, 15, 16, 17, yeah.
Just, doing things that, like she said, just really shouldn't have been doing. I was one of the lucky ones. I did get a chance to get out. And what I want to bring back also, I work with my cousin Farid, and with the poor family, with the kids, just to show them that you can change. There is something different, there is something better. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get judged sometimes, but don't judge a book by its cover. I let them see the tattoos, I let them see the dreads to show them that, what I'm saying, every guy like that is not on the streets. every guy like that is not selling dope. You know, a lot of these kids want to listen to these rappers, and these rappers are not the way to go. That's not real life. It's entertainment. It's, you know, it's all entertainment to make money. So we just need to give back more and show guys, a lot of our young males is really what's missing, the guidance. You know, they need more, see more natural and real guys out here taking care of their family. That's a real man. A real man takes care of his family. I don't care if you and a mom doesn't get along, but that shouldn't stop you or hinder you from taking care of your kid. And too many of us are out here making babies and not manning up. I don't care if you don't have the money. Time is more valuable than money. And you know, to some of the sisters, you know, stop being so hard and let these brothers in, the ones that are doing what they're supposed to do. You know, so I mean, we just got to come together more as a person, as people, like we were saying earlier, and just get back. Like I say, we want to do more in the community.
So are you saying that you feel as though some of the violence is contributed to the fathers not being in these young men's lives?
Yes, a lot of it.
Okay.
I mean, you know, my father wasn't there for, you know, he passed away when I was 15. I could have took a different route, and I started going that route, but luckily for me, I played sports. So I played football and basketball, so that got me to get out of where I was at, to go to college, to see stuff, to experience different things, you know, and I just think that I can give that back, you know, as far as the community and as far as, you know, showing our young brothers what we can do better. You know, pick the pants up. You know, at one time we was known for dressing classy. You know, but now, you know, you turn around, every time you turn around, you see somebody's butt, and it's getting to the point where it's ridiculous. You know, you walking down the street and you holding your pants. What's the point of doing all that? You know, just wake up, realize what's going on out here. You know, stop being a product of your environment and using that as an excuse of why you act in a certain way, because we all come from stuff like that.
Let's touch on that product of their environment. Because I hear that a lot.
Yes.
So is it the environment, the people that are within the environment?
To me,
so the product of the environment, who is the environment?
That's the
you
question
make
I
up
ask.
the environment.
Right. You know, that's the question I ask, because, like I say, you know, some of us have come from the bottom of the bottom and made it to the top. So we can't always use that as an excuse. I just think it's an excuse for most people to not do what they need to do. You know, sit and wait for a handout, wait for somebody to do something for you, instead of getting out there and getting it. You know, there's power in numbers.
So you said that your father passed when you were 15.
Yes,
Okay.
he was a police officer in Newark, New Jersey, and
Okay.
he died of throat cancer.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it was tough, you know, being a young black male and still trying to find his way in life, you know, and my father wasn't there.
So that was my question. Before he passed, was your father active in your life?
Yeah, he was active. I mean, he came and got us every summer up north, and brought us up north a lot.
So your father lived in New Jersey.
Yeah.
You lived in Florida, and every summer you spent with your father.
Yeah, he would come get me and my
there is
brother.
no excuse for the distance.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, and vice versa. You know, when I had my daughter young, and it didn't stop me. I was in college in Wisconsin, came back home every summer, every holiday, and got my daughter. So, you know, stop using, like I said, as black men, stop using excuses. Oh, well, she won't let me do this, who cares? That's your child. You have just as much right to that child as she does.
Because the son needs to have the father in their life.
Both do. I mean, little girls need their father also to understand how a lot of these guys are. And a lot of males need their father to understand what a man is supposed to be and what a man's supposed to do. You provide for your family. You take care of your family. You know, that's what men do. You do whatever it takes to take care of your family.
And also teaching them how not to make decisions
Right.
based on their emotions. Because what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is that a lot of young men are making life-changing decisions based on emotions.
Yeah.
And those emotions are temporary.
Right. And I think that's something we all need to try to work on. I mean, we're human, but that's just a big aspect that we definitely need to work on, is just stop reacting off emotion. Try to process it first, sit and think like, okay, then make a move. But we so quick to react.
And accepting responsibility,
Right.
taking ownership
Right.
of a situation.
Yes.
No one is perfect,
Right.
but
Nobody.
everybody makes mistakes.
Right, and we all make
Wonderful
mistakes.
conversation. Thank you. We're going to break for a moment. We'll be right back, right after this message. You're looking at Let's Talk About It with Sister JayJay.
God, it's good to be able to talk to you once again. I'm Pastor Sylvester Battle Jr. with Word, Spirit, and Life Ministries, the Enlargement Center.
And I'm Lady B.
We want to invite you to come fellowship with us. This is where we're teaching the Word of God and the Spirit of God is moving. We're at 3600 North Street, Chester, Virginia. Times is at 11 o'clock on Sunday mornings. Listen, you're so welcome here. You're more than welcome. We look forward to seeing you.
You're watching Let's Talk About It with Sister JayJay. If you would like to appear as a guest on my show, contact me on Facebook at Sister JayJay. That's SistaJayJay. We would love to have you on the show, and we can talk about it.
My name is Monica. I'm a music producer, and you're watching Let's Talk About It with Sister JayJay.
How you doing?
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It with Sister JayJay. We have a treat for you today, the real true poet giving us the poetic art.
He was born with a love that hasn't been seen before. He has trusted in his ability. He has walked before he began. He dreamed before dreams were even in existence. He became who he was. You see, who can understand the language that the ocean speaks to the lakes and the mountains? I heard the echo of Arizona blood spilling through the street like young man's dreams of wanting to be, like young men's dreams of wanting to be whatever. You see, the price of Skittles is too high if lives have to be lost. I was lost in the cause, but I heard the screams for my hands to go up, and I can't breathe. I can't breathe, but my hands are up, and we don't understand the essence of who we are, but our hands never go up. We walk and we march, but our hands see. And even though he has never uttered one word or made one Google or made one Gaga, he touched the lives of those that understood the essence of his beginning. His beginning wasn't from sin, and he was who he was.
All right. Come on over here.
Okay.
Real true poet in the house. That was deep. You touched on so much. I mean, so artistic on how you expressed everything that's been going on with our young brothers.
Right.
You know, I mean, wow, that was awesome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, thank you.
Real true poet is in the house, and what the poetry spot is called?
Oh, our Thursday Night Live at Curry 100. We're actively running an open mic as we speak.
Awesome, awesome. And I've had the pleasure of coming out and seeing some awesome poets in the house expressing themselves. Young black men doing their thing, being expressive, letting out that energy.
Definitely.
Letting it out. You have a story to tell as well, though. You know, we're talking about parents that have lost their children, have outlived their children. Were they too young to go? Yeah.
Well, I lost 3 children in my life, 2 recently. One in 2012 and one in 2013. I lost a teenager in 2013 through suicide.
Oh, wow. Talk to me about that. The young people need to understand that the decisions that they make, it affects not just them, but it affects the people that love them.
Exactly.
And we have to carry that burden with us. You leave us with an unwanted burden to carry. Questions that need to be answered that we would never get the answer to.
Definitely.
Uncertainties. Now, so share with us.
I mean, it's just a struggle to find who he was as a person. You know, society has a way of just, beating you down when you're trying to bring yourself up. And, not having a clear-cut example or, the mass, the media mass, can outweigh anything that we put into our children sometimes.
Did you all notice any signs of depression or any signs of your son wanting to do harm to himself or anything? And I'm quite sure if you thought of anything of that nature, you would have definitely addressed it. But were there anything to make you say, wow, this is what the end result was?
No, I was fairly shocked. I was doing a live broadcast on Facebook when I got the call. So, you know, my reaction to the call was broadcasted live.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it was a devastating moment, man, you know, to realize your child struggling and he had no, you know, he felt like his only way out was just to take his own life.
Mm. So did he have problems with school, friends,
No,
girls? Were you in?
I mean, my son was very good in school. You know, I think if anything, maybe he was struggling with his sexuality.
Mm.
You know, we live in a world now where, you know, it's a guessing game.
Right.
You know, on which way they going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so in the world, even though it's somewhat accepted, it's still not accepted. Mm-hmm. And it's hard on a person, you know, that lives a certain way.
Mm-hmm. So how were you able to move on with knowing that your son took his life? And did he do that with pills, or was it dramatic?
No, he hung himself.
Oh, wow. And I thank you for sharing this with us. I do understand that this is a sensitive subject. And I have to reiterate to you all that I thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story with me and sharing your story with the people in hopes that it will encourage the people and encourage the young people to know that family care about you and that there is a different way.
Yes.
There is a different way.
Definitely.
So how were you able to move forward?
You know, poetry always been my safe haven. You know, so I was able to, I think it was the day after we ran the show, and I surprisingly showed up. And, you know, a lot of people was actually shocked that you know, after losing a son, I actually would show up at an open mic. But it's like therapy for me. So, you know, I utilize my talent to give self-therapy to myself. And expressing to everybody else, you know, that, you know, you never know what somebody's going through.
Right.
You know, you never know.
And so you said you lost 3 children, correct?
Yes. I lost my youngest, one of my oldest boy, I lost when he was a baby to a car accident. And we lost a baby in 2012. He died at birth.
Oh, wow. Wow. And then talk to me about the car accident.
Well, he was maybe about 2. And his cousin, you know, would just begged us to take him so he could take him to the track meet. And, you know, so we finally said yes. And they got in an accident, actually, it was in Baltimore on their way home going to watch a track meet. My son died instantly. His cousin is, at this moment, still paralyzed.
Oh, wow. So what was your initial reaction to the cousin? Did you hold any animosity to him? Were you angry at him? Or, I mean, talk to me about your emotions.
I mean, it was disbelief. You know, disbelief. You know, you can reflect back to celebrating the birth, and now you have to plan the funeral.
Right.
You know, so I always been an open-minded person. You know, throwing the blame game on something that nobody has control over is a waste of energy.
I like that. I like what you said. It's a waste of energy, and all too many times when individual has experienced some type of death, we find comfort in the anger of blaming someone else. You know, I think that's where the comfort, trying to soothe that hurt, try to soothe that pain, and trying to find an answer to a question that you would never have the answer to.
Right.
You know, the why, or why this person, why couldn't it be a different way? You know, and then you said that you lost your another child at birth.
Yes.
Now, at that point, where were you at that point?
I mean, the whole pregnancy was a struggle. Some of that poem kind of depict, you know, my thoughts on that. You know, it was a struggle. You know, one of the verses say, he's God's gift to mama. He has been missed like loving that cocoa brown skin, reflecting off of melanin to blow kisses to the universe to express his love for mama.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was a process. You know.
Right.
You know, that one was, I think, you know, even though my son after that, you know, took his own life, the baby was the one that did it in for me. You know, because it was a struggle for him to even bring himself into the world, and then still lost his life.
And was that, how long before he passed? How long did he actually live?
I mean, it was not even 2 minutes after coming out of the womb.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Wow!
Yeah. So you know, we named him Storm. You know, because he fought the whole pregnancy. You know, so.
But you're able to move forward. You're able to.
Yeah, I was blessed with a baby girl this past year.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Yeah, so, you know, we call her the second coming of him because, you know, she started off the same way, you know, but, you know, she brought herself into the world and just been giving us joy ever since.
Okay, so you all just talk to me. I mean, overall, we've had different incidents where our loved ones was taken from us, some shape, fashion, or form. Your brothers were murdered. Your daughter was killed in a car accident. Your son hung himself. Another son was in a car accident, and your baby son, 2 minutes of living, went on to glory, as I like to think. Overall, where are you all at with dealing with the loss of your loved ones? Talk to me about that.
It made me strong, you know, like, you know, I like to say the burden, it was lingering for a while, but, you know, after God, you know, found favor in me and started blessing me and showing me that he was, you know, watching my actions. So now, you know, like in my poetry, music, whatever, you know, what I do is like let my actions spare his soul, because, you know, of course, untimely death, you know, you never get a chance to repent to God before you go out of here. And that's the important thing about life. You have to get right before that day, that time. But it put me where I'm at today. You know, it made me stronger, you know what I'm saying? I've raised, you know what I'm saying, 4 children myself, you know, two sons and 2 daughters. And, you know, they never took none of the attributes of the street life.
Good
like
for them.
Me and my brother, you know, lived, you know, because I don't promote that. I don't glorify that, you know what I'm saying? Some kids, you know what I mean, some adults, you know, they love their children, you know, being out there or whatever, you know, but no, not mine.
Right.
You know, I raised them from my personal life experience.
Right.
And I learned a lot from my brother when he was here. You know.
So you didn't allow his death to go in vain.
Exactly.
You took what he did that was not right and used that to raise your children in the right direction.
Right.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm Karen.
Sista JayJay, with my daughter passing, for me, it made me have I grew stronger in the Lord. That was what got me through, you know, faith, again, you know, dealing with the children, helping other people with children. I have 2 grandchildren that I help out with, so that keep me motivated, keep me going. Anything that I can do with other mothers, I talk to other mothers that have lost the children. I have a customer that lost her son a year ago. So we talk and we encourage each other. We find scriptures to help us, keep us encouraged. Basically, it's a day by day and leaning on the Lord to get us through.
True poet?
Well, I mean, I use my stage as a platform for them, you know, to constantly, you know, their words, you know, words have power. So we always preach in our open mic, man, that words have the ability to change opinions. So I constantly, you know, raise them up through my words. I mean, of course, it made me stronger, you know, every experience.
So just changing it up a little bit, we're going to come right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Let's Talk About It with Sister JayJay.
My name is Prince Caval Fulton. I'm a straight A student. I'm 13. I'm an athlete, and my life matters.
Be sure to tune in next week when we'll be talking about life after prison, right here on Let's Talk About It with Sister JayJay.
How you doing, people of God? It's good to be able to talk to you once again. I want to invite you to Word, Spirit, and Life Ministries, the Enlargement Center. Listen, you love football and so do I. I want to introduce you to a man that not only know the game, but played the game. This is none other, Brother Henderson.
How you doing, everyone? It is my pleasure. My name is William Henderson, former fullback for the Green Bay Packers, 12-year veteran. But every Sunday, I get a chance to. I'm in this church, listening to Pastor Battle give us the good word, and I invite you guys to come out and minister with us.
You're watching Let's Talk About It with me, Sister JayJay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It with Sister JayJay. I have a wonderful host of guests talking about the loss of their loved ones, sharing with us their emotional state, how they dealt with it, how they move forward with this. And we're gonna, as I stated before we left, we're gonna switch it up a little bit and talk about some of the national news coverage that has hit America. Young black men's lives are being taken as if there has no value to it. We had the Trayvon Martin, we have the Mike Brown, and those are just two that hit nationwide. We have so many stories that we can go on and on about how our young black men are being killed. And it's not just with police officers, it's in the community itself. But it seems as if the community within itself does not have as much value. I recall a young lady telling me that she lived in New York, and her friend was a news reporter, and he was saying that the violence in the poor neighborhoods did not make news as much as it did make news when it were in the upper class neighborhoods, because they looked at that as that's what they do.
And which is sad.
Yeah.
I mean, because we do a lot more in our community than just kill each other. You know, to me, I probably get some backlash, but you know, it's like modern day lynching. I mean, they literally killing our kids. You know, don't get me wrong for the guys that are actually doing crimes out here, but you know, the ones that we're talking about, these guys are innocent. You know, no weapons on them. You know, and you mean to tell me, you know, we got with all this technology, we got videotape, we got eyewitnesses, and that's still not good enough to convict anybody? You know, and it's getting to the point where, you know, it's ridiculous. And, you know, you want to believe in the police, but how can you believe in the police when the first thing they do is judge you? You know, but you want me to put all my trust in you that you're going to keep me safe. And it is hard to do that.
So for those officers, because we still have good police officers that are here. But you're stating for those who are making emotional decisions, those who are prejudging and not making a more cautious decision. That's what we're speaking in reference to.
Right, or just using it as an excuse to kill an innocent black child.
And what I want to elaborate on right quick is that God revealed everything before our time. So let's take it back to the biblical days. We had first Pharaoh, you know, made Joseph king. You know, the second Pharaoh came, you know, he was evil. So, you know, he claimed, you know, the children of Israel, you know, was too many, you know, he ordered the midwives to kill all the males. That's our children. That's what's going on today. You know, so we can't let this happen. You know, like, these are our children, and I know Lord knows if something happened to one of mine. I mean, and they're grown, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I feel the pain from Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, you know, and all the other young brothers that don't make it to the news. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on right now that's hidden behind the scene. But, you know, everything been manifested through the Word, and God's Word is perfect. I don't care whether it's in the Bible or the Quran. I read it all. I don't separate. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I'm faithful. You know. So, but that's what I want to say. So, it's time for us to, you know, make the children of Israel men of Israel, because they, you know, you look at them. Look at the behavior. Look at their behavior.
And I like what you said, to make the children of Israel men of Israel. That's a very important statement. Because the young guys are now, when you're acting out of emotional state and you're doing having juvenile behavior, that is a childish mind. And it is time for our young men to make wiser decisions. Now, I will say that I'm a strong believer in not giving a reason to be placed in uncomfortable situations or situations that will cause your life. You know, in San Francisco, just 2000, I believe, I might be off on my year, but 2013, if I'm not mistaken, the young man actually jumped the trolley. He didn't pay. It was $1, if I'm not mistaken, and he ran from the police, and the police shot him in his back. Now, I am by no means justifying that young man being shot in his back, but what I am saying is that $1 was not worth you being placed in a situation that caused you to be where you are at. I think that we have to send out the message to our young people that you have to begin to make conscious decisions. You have to take responsibility for your actions, so that if a misfortune happened to you, there is no excuse.
Right.
You know, and I think a very great example of that is the Trayvon Martin. That young man was walking home, or coming from the store, and he was not doing a wrong. You know, so I think that's a very good example of doing the right thing. Unfortunately, his killer walked free. No, Ms. LeBou, what do you have to add?
Well, with Trayvon Martin, you know, to me, I think it was a shame. It was for us in this day and time in America, for our young men to be killed, that young man to be killed the way he was killed, and the dispatcher at the police station had informed Zimmerman to cease
not to leave out the car.
To leave him, you know, not to follow him anymore, but he pursued him. Thank you. He pursued him, and this is really what led to the incident. But in America, in this day and time, that the evidence that was presented that he got away scot-free, then that's telling me we have a problem. There's a problem still existing here when it comes down to young black men. And I'm not even going to say just young black men anymore, because now they are lashing out at black women. You know, there was a black woman that was pulled out of her car with her children in the car. Another incident in Petersburg, a black woman was pulled off of the porch by her neck because she was recording what was going on. We have to make a stand. You know, I'm a firm believer. I came up in the 50s, and we protest, we boycott. You know, stop spending your black dollars. Yes. If they don't want to respect you, they will respect your black dollars. Yes. Stop spending your money. If you don't get justice, then don't spend your money. That's how we made things happen in the past. And sometimes we have to go back to the old landmark to make things happen now. And that's what we need to do now.
And I do commend those that are putting together a peaceful protest to advocate against what has been going on within our community. So you're definitely right. We have to take a stand, a peaceful stand, and even in your times, the stands were peaceful and they made big noise. with their silence. And so that's very important, and I definitely agree with that. And once again, I commend those that are doing that, and we need to continue to protest peacefully. And as you stated, even take it a step further. Keep our money.
Yeah.
If that's what's going to demand a change,
and
we have
it
to
will.
do something.
Don't go out and buy Skittles and get Skittles rich, or go buy these hoodies now. These people profited off somebody's death.
Right, you're so right.
You know, and that's what we don't wake up and need to see.
I did not understand that. I tried to wrap my mind around what they were trying to say. However, it's just what you said, Tiara, that the Skittles company, they got rich, and the hoodie company, they got rich. But this young man is still dead, and justice is still here, and we're still in a time that we are not feeling safe for our sons. I do reiterate, however, that we have to make sure that our children are making cautious decisions so that they will not find themselves in uncomfortable situations. You know, True Poet, your intake.
Yeah, well, it goes. I'm looking at it. It goes to the media. You know, we don't control no more media outlets. You know, we teach our children as hard as we can, but they go out to a world that is ferocious, and has a way of, you know, changing the mindset of any strong kid. So, you know, I feel like, you know, with all of these stars that we got, man, they have to start pulling their resources in, start taking control of some of these media outlets. You know, when Bob Johnson sold BET, I just thought that was one of the worst decisions ever made.
Well, I thank you all for being on the show. Our time is up. I'm going to have to get you all back on the show again. This is very intense. And again, I thank you all. Thank you all for chiming in with Let's Talk About It with Sister JayJay. Be sure to tune in next week, the same time, same place. Thank you all. And remember, talking about it can solve the problem.
Come on, let's talk about it. Come on, let's talk about it. Come on, let's talk about it with Sister JayJay.